Hi, welcome to our workshop presented by Trend Signal, detailing the data news events coming out a week starting the 26th of August. We've already been through Monday, the 26th, which was actually a holiday here in the UK, so we're jumping straight through to Tuesday. But before I go into that, I just want to sum up what happened last week. Market really dominated by really the minutes from the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, the rate setting committee of the Federal Reserve, a central bank in the US, and it looks like the Fed probably has settled on some sort of tapering move in September, but as to the measure or the size of it, we're not altogether sure. But I do think, reading into the minutes, that the committee is not very pleased with the data that's coming out of late in the US. And I think there's also an idea that they may well be considering shuffling their forward guidance on rates to try and offset the effects of the tapering that could happen in September. Anyway, as a result, FTSE on the week last week, that was unchanged. US markets actually sort of did okay. We were up 8 points on the S&P, that's about 0.5%, as indeed did the euro. The dollar sort of slightly weaker against the euro. The euro is about 50 ticks higher, that's sort of just under 0.4%. Sterling lost a little bit of ground. The yen lost quite a bit of ground. That rallied or fell 1.12 yen to the dollar. That's a fall of approximately 1.2%. Gold, that rallied quite sharply. The mood has definitely changed in the gold market, up $23 or 1.7%. Crude oil, bit of a quiet week really, up 38 cents only. That's at about sort of 0.3%. But all the news today bases the announcement from John Kerry, who made a press statement last night, that's Monday night, about the conflict in Syria, and that is something that very much dominates the news today. If we look at the front page of the FT, Syria tensions weigh on market, US stocks. This is the opening on Tuesday afternoon. The US falling over 100 points on the opening here as due to Syrian worries. And we know already here in the UK that David Cameron has recalled Parliament to discuss the Syrian crisis, as it's been called, and it now seems there is some sort of action that the US and its allies will take against the Syrian government, but as to when that happens, we're not going to know, obviously, until it's happened. Nevertheless, it has spooked the markets a little bit. Gold has rallied quite sharply on the back of it. And equities sharply lower, the likes of the Eurostox and the DAX off sort of 2 and a bit percent. FTSE off a little bit less, but still quite weak on the day, off currently around sort of 0.7%. So data this week, not too heavy calendar. Next week's the big one with the beginning of the month. We always kick off, there's a bank holiday next Monday in the States at Labor Day, but we do have the employment data next week. But this week, so far, well, we've had durable goods, which is an important number. That came in weaker again, so we keep on sustaining weak numbers in the States, which will worry the Fed a little bit. That's why I think this tapering, it could be very, very modest, very, very modest affair in September if they do go through with it. Today we've had, that's Tuesday the 27th, we had the German Business Climate Index, slightly better than expected, but there hasn't been a particularly positive reaction, as discussed. Certainly Eurostox and the DAX sharply lower, really on the back of the Syria news, so that hasn't been able to offset it at all. Some components of the report from the IFO were not so good, but overall the index better than expected. Consumer confidence, that comes out at 3 o'clock today. By the time you listen to this, obviously that will have happened. Data seems to be underperforming across the board, really, so that is something that we need to watch out for. Consumer confidence, is an important, very important component of the economic picture here, and the US really depends on the consumer remaining positive about the jobs, positive about the stock market and the economy. And then on Wednesday, so a fairly light week really. We got Mark Carney from the Bank of England speaking. If you want to see any of the details, just click on this detail button from Forex Factory, and it gives all the details of what's going on there, etc., what he's talking about. Pending home sales in the US, again, going back to consumer confidence, home sales have been doing really well of late. We're looking for a slight pickup from the previous month, minus 0.4% reported in July. We're reporting looking for a number of around plus 0.2%. And then we really sort of jump through to Thursday when we get some European data. The German preliminary CPI, unemployment rate, and then we're followed in the afternoon by what's called the prelim GDP. This is actually, it's not the first bit of data on the GDP in the States, it's the second. The first one, believe it or not, is called the advance. This is called the prelim, and we're looking for a reasonably good revision from the initially reported 1.7% on the advance number. So that's a positive, could be a potentially positive outcome there. Certainly the export data is the thing that I think that's changed that. And then we've got the weekly unemployment claims at 1:30 as well. Very much the theme continues with a gradually improving employment picture, although not as far, improving as much as perhaps the Fed would like. And then on Saturday, on Friday, the August the 30th, we've then got German retail sales. That comes out quite early, and then we've got personal spending. There aren't many important announcements really on Friday the 30th. Chicago PMI and the revision of the University of Michigan consumer sentiment. They're probably the most important ones. A lot of these are fairly mediocre. Personal income and personal expenditure. I really think the bits of data that will move the market will be the PMI and the revised University of Michigan's consumer sentiment number. So data has not been that special in the US. The moves that we're seeing, fairly narrow bands, fairly narrow ranges in the US dollar pairs on the foreign exchange markets. Equities obviously taking a bit of a hammering today. Bonds reacting the other way as a little bit of a flight to quality as investors buy up bonds and equities suffer. But that'll become clearer through this week as we hear exactly what the US and its allies will be doing about the Syrian situation. That's it really. Good luck with the rest of the week. As I say, it's Friday. It's Tuesday afternoon, so we've only got sort of 3.5 days before the end of the week. As always, if you need any other further information, etc., just email Trend Signal to give for an update. Thanks very much for listening, and we reconvene on Thursday for a full workshop starting 8 o'clock. Bye for now.
If you would like more information about trading the right way, Trend Signal is giving you the opportunity to see and hear about its services live at a free online seminar. Take a look at the Trend Signal website for the latest events and to book your free place.